Okay.
Time for some email questions. Are you ready? Okay, let's bring it on with this first one from Cheryl, who says, I was at a healing service when I saw people being, quote, slain in the spirit. A few questions. What happens during that time? Why are some people out for longer than others? And is this even biblical?
Well, the time that you think about it, when they came to take Jesus, he's in the Garden of Gethsemane praying, and he came out and they said, we're looking for Jesus, and I'm the one. And they fell back. The power of God was so overwhelming that their human strength was taken away from them. We find also in the presence of an angel, somebody says they fall down like they're in a swoon. They can't stand it. Our human bodies can't stand in the presence of enormous power of the invisible world. So is that biblical? Yes, it's biblical. I don't know what happens, but I do know that the anointing of God is sufficiently strong. Now, some people fake it. Some people, they do all this. And that's not what we're talking about. But sincerely, when the power of God is present, it isn't unusual for somebody to lose consciousness. My throat. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Mark, and his question for you, Pat, is, Pat, I'm watching the news and I can't help but think of your predictions from 2012. You said your country will be torn apart by internal stress. A house divided cannot stand. We made it through last year, but do you think your prediction still applies this year?
Absolutely. Did you see what just happened in Congress? The shutdown of the government, the Democrats and Republicans, the lies going on, the bitterness, the acrimony. But the problem is people won't give up their little piece of the pie. Yeah. And that's the trouble. It's selfishness and greed. And will it tear the country apart? Absolutely.
Okay, this is Lena, who says, I'm looking for a book that could be something like Christianity 101, something about the basics of the faith, has a study guide, maybe includes something about Christian history as well. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, of course, the famous one is C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity, which is very good. It's a wonderful book. But I tell you, our staff found that we have something called Foundations of the Faith. It's available to you. You can link on to CBN. There it is. And why not? It's there for you, and it's free. And it's called Foundations of Our Faith, produced by the CBN and Regent University people.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Available?
All right.
Okay, this is Scott, who says, my parents are in their late 60s and have been married for more than 40 years. For years, my father cheated on my mother with numerous prostitutes. My mother, the good Christian woman that she is, forgave him multiple times over the years. I'd like to think that his philandering ways were in the past, but I was at their home one day and saw that his internet history had listed multiple porn sites. I want them to get counseling, but my dad refuses and my mom says they don't need it. What should I do? I'm really, really concerned here.
Well, I tell you what, if they've been married that many years and you're their child, leave it. I mean, it's just, apparently your father is a sex addict, and it's an addiction. And your mother has either excuses it or says, I'll live with it, and that's just the way it is. I know it's a terrible thing, and you're ashamed of it, and it's a sin, and it's all the rest of it. But there isn't a thing as a child you can do except pray, and I recommend that you do pray about it.
Yes.
But that's what you're dealing with. It's a sex addiction.
Yeah.
And
if people don't want to change,
well, the problem with addiction is people become enablers. Instead of your mother should have probably walked out on your father years ago, but she chose not to do it. So maybe she finds in him something that's lovable, but at the same time, she's excusing an addiction.
Yeah.
And
so you stay trapped.
You stay trapped in it. I mean, it's a relationship. People have alcoholics, they have drug addicts as close members, and they are enablers. We don't want to enable those people in their addiction, all right?
Well, that's all the time we have for questions today, but we thank you. We love hearing from you.